Hello, grade 6. This is Miss Manal, your English teacher. Today we are going to continue our reading lesson Hachiko. We read from page 148 till 151. So please follow up with me. Title of the story: Hachiko, the true story of a loyal dog. At the end of this lesson, you will gain knowledge of loyalty and understand the bond between animals and humans. The author is Pamela S. Turner. The questions below will help us understand the genre of the story, which is historical fiction. Number 1. What is the setting of the story? The setting is in Tokyo at the Shibuya station long time ago. 2. Who are the characters in the story? The characters are Hachiko, Dr. Ueno, Kentaro, and his father. The genre of this story is historical fiction. It's a realistic fiction that takes place in the past. And as you see in number 1, this story happened in Tokyo a long time ago. It tells about fictional characters and mixes facts about the past with imaginary characters and events. And as we see in number 2, the characters in the true story are Hachiko and Dr. Ueno. But the made-up characters by Pamela S. Turner are Kentaro and his father. So the author had chosen Kentaro to tell us the story to make it more interesting for the reader. And if you watch the movie Hachiko, you will be able to determine which elements of this story are true and which ones are invented. And as we proceed in reading, we will be able to find more clues to conclude that this story is historical fiction. After we have read pages 146 and 147 in the previous videos, we are going to continue reading the following pages. Page 148. "Don't be afraid," said Dr. Ueno kindly. "This is Hachiko. He is big, but still a puppy. He walks me to the station every morning and waits for me to come home every afternoon. I think Hachiko stores up all his joy all day long and then lets it all out at once." Hachiko stood wagging his tail next to Dr. Ueno. I reached to touch him, and he bounced forward and sniffed my face. I yelped and jumped back behind Mama. They all laughed. "Oh, Kentaro, don't worry. He just wants to get to know you," said Dr. Ueno. "Dogs can tell a lot about people just by smelling them. Why, Hachiko probably knows what you ate for lunch." Let's ask few questions to examine our understanding. Why would Hachiko wait for Dr. Ueno at the train station every day? Hachiko seems like a loyal dog who misses Dr. Ueno when he is gone. Dr. Ueno says Hachiko walks him both to the station and home, so he must care deeply for him. What caused Kentaro to hide from Hachiko when he first met the dog? And how did Hachiko's behavior fit in the description on page 148 that he is big but still a puppy? Well, Kentaro hid because when he reached to touch Hachiko, the large dog bounded forward and sniffed his face. Despite his size, Hachiko is quick, playful, and curious like a puppy. So we understand that Hachiko is big, but he is playful like a puppy. Let's move to page 149. As you see in the picture, this is Hachiko with thick and soft fur. His fur is creamy. I sniffed my hand, but it didn't smell like rice balls to me. I reached out and touched Hachiko gently on the shoulder. His fur is so thick and soft, I said, like a bear's. Dogs like Hachiko once hunted bears in the north, where it is very cold and snowy, said Dr. Ueno, kneeling down next to me and rubbing Hachiko's ears. From that day on, I went to the train station almost every afternoon, but I no longer went to see the trains. I went to see Hachiko. He was always there, waiting near the newspaper stand. I often saved a morsel from my lunch and hid it in one of my pockets. Always remember this strategy. Ask yourself questions before, during, and after reading to determine meaning, clarify understanding, locate specific information, and reflect on learning. I will ask you a few questions and we will try to answer them together. 1. Why did Dr. Ueno say that dogs like Hachiko once hunted bears where it is cold and snowy? When I reread that part, I realized that Dr. Ueno is explaining why Hachiko's fur is so thick and soft. In cold climates, animals grow thick fur to keep warm. 2. What conclusion can you draw about Kentaro's feelings for Hachiko at this point in the story? Use details from the story to support your conclusion. I can tell that Kentaro likes Hachiko because he goes to the train station to visit the dog almost every day, and he saves some of his food to give to Hachiko, as we saw on page 149. Page 150. Hachiko would sniff me all over, wagging his tail until he found a sticky bit of fish or soybean cake. Then he would nudge me with his nose, as if to say, "Give me my prize." When it was cold, I would bury my face in the thick ruff of creamy fur around his neck. One day in May, I was waiting at the station with Hachiko. The moment I saw Papa, I knew something was wrong. He was alone and he walked hunched over, staring sadly at the gray pavement under his feet. "What's the matter, Papa?" I asked him anxiously, standing with one hand on Hachiko's broad head. He sighed. "Kentaro, let's go home." Hachiko's bright brown eyes followed us as we walked away, but he stayed behind, waiting for Dr. Ion. And as you see in the illustrations of page 150, the dark gray or black color shows us that there's something wrong that would happen in the story that would make us sad. Let's determine the meaning of the suffix ly and the meaning of the suffix ous. The suffix ly means in a certain manner, and the suffix ous means full of. Ly is added to the word to become an adverb that modifies the verb, and the suffix ous is added to the word to become as an adjective that describes a noun or pronoun. For example, quickly means in a quick way. Marvelous means full of marvel. Let's ask a few questions together. Number 1. Use word structure to tell the meaning of sadly on page 150. Since the suffix ly means in a certain manner, so sadly must mean in a sad manner. 2. Determine the meaning of anxiously on page 150, paragraph 3. I know that the word anxious means full of worry, and that Kentaro senses that something is wrong. So anxiously probably means in a worried manner. Number 3. What can you infer about Papa's friendship with Dr. Ueno? Support your answer with details from the text. Papa must have been good friends with Dr. Ueno because he is very sad that Dr. Ueno has died. Kentaro describes him walking alone, hunched over, staring sadly at the pavement. He was sad and tired. These two phrases, hunched over and staring sadly, showed us that Papa was sad since Dr. Ueno has died. Please turn to page 151 and read along. When we got home, Papa told us that Dr. Ueno had died that morning at the university. I was stunned. But what will happen to Hachiko? I asked, blinking hard to keep the tears back. What will he do? I don't know, said Papa. Perhaps Dr. Ueno's relatives will take him in. What about tonight? I asked. Can we go see if he is all right? Papa was very sad and tired, but he walked with me back to the Shibuya station. Hachiko was curled up by the newspaper stand. He wagged his tail when he saw us. Papa and I gave him water in an old chip bowl and some food. Hachiko ate and drank, but he kept looking up toward the station entrance for Dr. Ueno. Papa and I left even sadder than we had come. The next day, I went back to check on Hachiko, but he was not there. Papa told me that Hachiko had been taken several miles away to live with some of Dr. Ueno's relatives. But I'll never see him again, I cried. Why can't he live with us? Questions of page 151. Based on what you know about Hachiko and your own knowledge about dogs, what do you predict Hachiko will do when he is taken away? Explain your prediction. Hachiko has shown that he is very loyal to Dr. Ueno. I have also heard of dogs finding their way home over great distances. So I think Hachiko may run away and try to get back to Dr. Ueno's house. 2. What does nudge on page 150 mean? Nudge means to push gently. And here is a clue from page 150 that helped me support my answer. Hachiko may push Kentaro softly with his nose to give him his prize. 3. What does rough on page 150 mean? Rough means fur growing around the neck of an animal. The fourth line on page 150 gave me a clue. Thick ruff of creamy fur around his neck. And now let's review the definitions of our 8 new words. Fixed held steady. Furious, wild, violent, angry. Morsel, a piece of food. Nudge, push gently. Quietly, in a quiet way or silently. Rough, fur growing around the neck of an animal. Stooped, bent forward. Vigil, the time of watching. And now, your homework will be to apply page 86 in the notebook, and the answer key will be sent to you later on this week. Thank you.